class like Booth algorithm with recoded multiplier. Why we are going for this recoded multiplier is we need our algorithm to work for both positive and negative value. You are in need of a recoded multiplier. So basically Booth algorithm was designed for performing multiplication operation. Okay, so we have seen an algorithm which will run only for positive number, that is unsigned number, that is normal Booth algorithm. Now we are going to discuss about recoded multiplier which has been used in Booth algorithm. Okay, so what is actually a recoded multiplier? You will have a record table upon which you are going to map the value which is recoded. That is called as a recoded multiplier. So you have been given a multiplicand and multiplier which is stored in M and Q. Okay, you have accumulator register and then Q minus 1. This is a single bit register. You're going to have count N, which is N is the number of bits it is going to perform the multiplication for the input value. Okay, so we are having this condition. You're going to check Q0 and Q minus 1 and you're going to do all this operation. If it is 0, 1, you're going to add A plus M and store it in M. Okay, store it in M. And then if it is 1, 0, you're going to subtract M from A and you're going to store it in A. If it is going to be 1, 1 or 0, 0, you're not going to perform these things. You're going to simply do only the arithmetic shift, do right shift, and then you're going to decrement the count value. When you're going to end up this, you're going to end up with when count value is becoming 0. Until that, this loop will be working. Okay, so now we'll go with an example so that you will get a more clarity about Booth multiplication for signed number. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply 7 and 3. So I'm assuming this as a signed numbers. So if it is a signed number, then it is going to be positive plus 7 and plus 3. I'm going to multiply. So make sure what is the multiplicand. Okay, so 7 is the multiplicand here and 3 is the multiplier here. So I'm going to store the multiplicand in M. Okay, and I'm going to store the value of multiplier in Q register. This is going to be M register and this is going to be Q register. Okay, so what is the first step I have to do? I'm going to initialize the values of A, Q, Q minus 1 and then in the registers, and in M the value of the multiplicand it is going to store. Okay, so I have initialized everything up to count also. I'm going to store it as 4. Why? Because I'm going to make use of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bit of data representation. So I'm going to make use of count as 4. Okay, so now next where the loop will go, the control will go into to check whether Q0 comma Q minus 1. Okay, what is Q0 actually? This is Q register. How the Q register will have its value? Q0, Q1, Q2 and 2, Q3. Okay, so what is Q0? This is Q0 value. Okay, what is Q minus 1? I have initialized by 0 already, so I am checking Q0. So what is the combination here? It is 1 and 0. Okay, it's 1 and 0. So if it is 1 and 0, where the loop will go, the control will go to this loop. Okay, to this particular statement to execute. So what I have to do, A is equal to A minus M. How I can perform A is equal to A minus M? This is nothing but A is equal to A plus minus M. Am I right? This is how you will do a addition of subtract a value from another number. A is equal to A minus M is equivalent to A is equal to A plus minus M. Okay, so if you want to find minus M, what you will do? You will perform the complement of M. So what is M actually? The value of M is the multiplicand. The value is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. you have to take the 2's complement of the number. Okay, so 1001. So this is what actually, this is actually minus m. Am I right? Okay, so if you want to perform a minus m, what you have to do? That is equal to a plus 2's complement of m. What is the 2's complement of m actually? It is nothing but 1001. So a plus minus m. What is minus m actually? 1001. So how you find 1001? You are going to take the 2's complement of this number of m. Okay, so you try to understand here. Simply m is going to be 7. If I want to find minus m, what I have to do? I have to take the 2's complement of this value. Okay, so and I'm getting minus m. I'm adding along with a to get the value of a minus m. Where I have to store it actually, I have to store it in a. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm again refreshing my table. Now what happens in a? What is the value it came? 1001. From where it came? From here. That is a is equal to a minus m. After doing this, where the control will go? It will go to the arithmetic shift right of what registers? A, Q and Q minus 1. That alone. You don't disturb this M register. Okay, M is going to be static. It is not going to change at any cost. Okay, I am going to do the right shift of it. Okay, so now how I'm going to shift the values? A, Q, Q minus 1. I am going to shift the values right one bit. Okay, so at that time this first bit will be restored to the next refreshing table as it is. That is the that is the third bit. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. This more significant bit will be restored as it is. So this one will be coming here as it is. Again this one will be going right shift by one bit, and this last bit is there, right? Where it will go? It will be this one will be going here, and then here 0 is there. Where this bit will actually go, this will be discarded. Okay, this is what happens here. And then we are decrementing the value of count as count minus 1, so it becomes 3. And again it will check for whether count is equal to 0. The condition is false, so it is again going to the next next cycle. Okay, again what it will do, it will check the value of q0 and q minus 1, 1, 1. So if it is a combination of 1, 1, what I have to do? I have to simply do the arithmetic shift operation. Okay, so what I'm going to do? I'm refreshing the table. I'm going to restore this one here as it is, and I'm doing the right shift by one bit. Okay, this. Okay, and then I'm going to do this over here. It is coming over here, and then this particular bit will be discarded. Okay, so next thing is I'm going to decrement the value of count by minus 1. So 3 minus 1 is equal to 1. So again what I am doing, checking count is equal to 0. No, condition is false because count is 2. So again what it is going to do, it is going to, if it is false, the loop will continue. Again I am going to check the value of q0 and q1, 0, 1. If it is 0, 1, what I have to do? A is equal to a plus m. So what is the value of a here actually? What is the value of a here? 1, 1, 1, 0 plus what is the value of m here? 0, 1, 1. So I am going to add both the numbers, and I am going to add both the numbers. This is a, this is m. So the carry that it is getting is going to get discarded. Okay. In the previous Booth algorithm, which is for unsigned number, we used to restore the carry. But here, maximum the carries will be discarded. Okay. So this value 0, 1, 0, 1 is going to be stored in what value? A value. Okay. And then what I am going to do? I am going to do the arithmetic shift, which is refreshed in the next table. So what I am going to do? I am going to do the arithmetic right shift. Here, what are the operations that you are performing should be mentioned here for clarity. Okay. I'm just going to do this arithmetic shift over here, and I'm going to discard the last q minus 1. Okay. And then I'm going to decrement the value of count register. Okay, count is going to be 2 minus 1, 1. It is going to reduce, decremented by 1. Again, I am checking count is equal to 0. No. So again, it will go up, and it will check for Q0 and Q minus 1, it is 0, 0. So it will perform the arithmetic shift alone, and then it will perform the count as my count minus 1. So it becomes 0. So now what happens? Count is equal to 0 is true. Okay, so it has to end up here. So what is the result actually we got? It is going to be the result of this multiplication. Okay, is going to be available in A and Q. Okay, so what is in A and Q? A is in A, I am having 0001. In Q, I have 0101, which is equivalent to what? 21. So I'm getting 7 into 3 as 21. So this is what the result is going to be. Okay, so this is how you have to perform a Booth multiplication for signed binary numbers. So now both the numbers are positive, right? So it may be easy for you to do that. There won't be any chance of performing any complement or anything like that. Now we'll go to another case. Okay, we have done the multiplication of two signed positive numbers. Okay, what happens if your number is going to be, one of the number is going to be negative number? Very, very simple. You don't want to bother about anything. Simply take the 2's complement of the number and you can proceed with the same step as we have seen in the seen now. Okay, for the positive numbers we have seen, right? The same step you are going to proceed with this negative number also. Let me explain that too. Okay, what is this? What is the multiplier? Is going to be minus 5. Okay, so so this is going to be the multiplier, sorry, multiplicand, and the multiplier is going to be 4. Since it is positive, its number is going to be like binary number is going to be as it is. Normally you are going to take as 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, this is going to be the binary equivalent of 4. But we have the problem here, which is minus 5. So how you will represent minus 5? First, you take 5. What is the binary equivalent of 5? 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, you take 1's complement of it and add it. So what is the value you will get? You will get the 2's complement of the number. That is actual value of m. So m is equal to what? 1, 0, 1, 1. This is the value actually you have to take for the multiplication operation. Do you understand this step? Okay, this is nothing but the binary. This is nothing. This is going to be nothing but binary equivalent of the number. Okay, it is going to be the 2's complement of the given number. Now, if in any case, some cases you have a is equal to a minus m. So at the time, what you want actually, you need to know what is the value of minus m also. So for minus m, you take the 2's complement of m. So how you will take, just convert it into 1's complement, you just add 1. So you will get the value for minus m as well. So first, you try to understand we are going to deal with negative number. So you need to take the 2's complement of the given number. So now we'll go into the actual performance of how a Booth algorithm can be applied over here. Okay, so what is the first step you will do? You will first initialize the value of a. This is going to be q, and then q minus 1. You're going to initialize. What is this q actually? It is the multiplier. Okay, multiplicand m is going to have 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, in the now what you're going to check? You're going to check the value of q0 and q minus 1 is going to be what combination? It is going to be 0, 0 combination. If there is 0, 0 combination, what you have to do? You don't want to do any addition or subtraction. Simply you have to perform the right shift over here. You just put here, come here, 0, 0, 0, 0. So like this, you are going to simply shift the values over here, and the last bit will be discarded. Okay. So in next step, again, you're going to decrement the counter, and you have to check this bits. Okay, q0 and q minus 1. Okay, so if it is 1, 0, what you have to do? You have to perform what? A is equal to a minus m. Okay, how you will compute a is equal to a minus 1? A you already have. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. For m, what is the value you actually have? For m, we have computed 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, we have already 0, 1, 0, 1. So you are going to add this a minus m is equal to a plus minus m. So you are going to add both the values and you are going to store it in a. So this is what happens here. You are going to do the addition of a plus minus m and you are going to store it here. Again, the next, as we have seen in the flow chart, the loop will be continuing. You are going to perform the arithmetic shift operator over right shift by 1 bit. Again, you will check for the values of Q0 and Q1 and you will be performing this until the count value is going to become 0. So at one stage, the count is going to get 0 and I am going to end up with this. So what is the result I will get? It is going to be AQ. This is going to be the result. Okay. So you just remember one thing. Whenever you are performing an multiplication with any one of the number is going to be a negative number, you have to verify the answer. How you will verify the answer? You simply take the 2's complement of the result and you check whether the result is going to be plus 20. That means what? The number is going to be minus 20. If you are going to take the 2's complement of it and if you are getting plus 20, then your answer is going to be correct. Okay. But the last one bit is going to be what? It is going to be the sign bit. So it will be obviously minus 20 that you can declare. Okay. So this is how you have to perform the multiplication which involves one of a number is going to be a negative number. So I have given the steps. In each step how the performance is there. It is available in the files folder in the Microsoft Teams. Okay. Now just hold on for a minute. Okay. Next, we are going to see about what happens when both the numbers are going to be negative. Okay. We don't want to bother anything. Simply take the 2's complement of a number for plus 5. You take the 2's complement, you will get this number. Okay. For 4, what is the binary equivalent? 0, 1, 0, 0. So you take the 2's complement of the number, you will get this multiplier. As usual, you perform all the operations that I have displayed in the flowchart. But here when you are dealing with both negative numbers, the result will be obviously positive. Okay, directly you will get that. Unlike this particular case where the result will show it as a negative number, but actual result will be slightly confusing. For that only, for verifying that I am asking you to take 2's complement of a number. But in case of both negative numbers, okay, but in case of both negative numbers, in the result itself, you will find it out. The result, the value is going to be returning a positive value. Okay, so minus into minus, so positive sign is coming, obviously. So Booth algorithm is for performing multiplication operation upon binary numbers. Okay, even though it is going to be a decimal number is going to be your input, what it is actually doing internally? Internally, it is performing all these operations not with decimal numbers but with binary numbers only. Okay, so now what happens if your input is going to be very huge in size? For example, I have to multiply some 1796 which is going to be decimal into 7005. So if you are going to make use of such a very huge operation with very big numbers, even though if it is signed or unsigned numbers, this recoding, previously we have seen this algorithm will not be suitable because there will be a lot of multiplication involved. It involves a lot of circuitry and operation and subtraction operation. Okay, due to which it is depending on the architecture. For example, if your architecture is going to be very least configuration, the configuration at that time, if you are going to deal with very higher order numbers, the Booth algorithm for signed algorithm is not suitable. Okay, because it involves more number of operations. Okay, so it will obviously the speed will be very degraded. Okay, so for that reason we are going for another algorithm called as modified Booth multiplication. Okay, so far we have seen about the Booth algorithm, Booth recoding. Now we are going to see about the modified Booth multiplication. So what happens in modified Booth algorithm? Okay, so in modified Booth algorithm, if I am going to multiply some n number, some number x, okay, I am going to multiply with another multiplier y. So how many steps will be involved? For example, this is going to be the first partial input I have. For example, I am saying 5, for example, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0. Okay. Again, I am going to do another multiplication which has one step, 1, 1, 1. I am simply saying some, I am going to do the numbers. Okay, 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay, like this I am going to involve. Again, I am having 1, 1, 1, 1. So how many partial outputs it actually gives? There is totally 4 partial products are available, and after that I will add all the numbers and I will get the final multiplied value. Am I right? Yes. So 4. In modified Booth algorithm, what I can do is I can reduce it by a maximum of 2. That is 50% of my entire partial products can be reduced. So that is called as n by 2. Okay, so n by 2, in some cases you can go up to n by 2 plus 1 also, because it depends upon the architecture. Usually we will have n divided by 2. Okay, in most of the cases, when the configuration of your architecture is going to be very of higher order, then your partial products can be reduced by n by 2. That is 50% of my partial products can be reduced. Okay, so what is the technique used there is bit pair recoding. This is the technique they are going to use in this modified Booth algorithm. Again, what is it going to do? It is going to do the multiplication only. Okay, what is the algorithm? We'll see. Okay, pair the least significant bit with 1 0. Okay, and then pair the most significant bit with 2 zeros if n is even. What is n? N is going to be the number of bits it is going to handle. Okay, and 1, I am going to pair the most significant bit with 1 if n is odd. Okay, and then divide the multiplier with overlapping group of 3 bits. So you are going to divide the multiplier here, and you are going to determine the partial product. Okay, and then you are going to compute the multiplicand multiplies, and then at last you will do all the partial sum of all the partial products, right? You are going to do the sum over here. Okay, so this algorithm is going to work for unsigned numbers. Okay, especially for unsigned numbers, this algorithm is going to work. Okay, so I have told you one concept. It is going to make use of bit pair recoding. Am I right? What is this bit pair recoding? Okay, so bit pair recoding is nothing but I am going to make my multiplier. Okay, I am going to recode my multiplier in such a way that I will take the 3 bits. Okay, so the multipliers I plus 1th bit, ith bit, and I minus 1th bit. I am going to recode it. Okay, and I am going to substitute as 0, 1, 1, 2, minus 2, minus 1, minus 1, 0. So I am simply going to check my multiplier. For example, if my multiplier is going to be 7, okay, I am going to make use of 0, 1, 1, 1. This is going to be my multiplier involved. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to add 1 0. That is what the first point is. You have to pad the least significant bit with 1 0. I am going to do this extra 0. I am going to put here. Okay, then I can encode the digits by looking at 3 bits at a time. So 3 bits from right to left, you just look upon your bits. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 bits I will consider. Okay, for this 3 bits, how I am going to recode it? Okay, how I am going to recoded is going to be 0, 1, 1. You check for where 0, 1, 1 is there. 0, 1, 1. So I found out the bit pairs here, for which I will going to substitute by -1. I will write it as -1. Okay. Again, I will check for this bit and I will check 1, 1, 0 or 0, 1, 1, whatever it may be. Okay. 0, 1, 1. 0, 1, 1. Same as 1, 1, 0 from right. So I will substitute as 2. Like this, I am going to perform the both bit pair recoding using this particular table. Okay, so we'll solve a multiplication over two numbers so that you can understand it more clearly. Okay, so I am going to make use of this modified Booth algorithm to perform the multiplication over multiplicand 8 and 20 is going to be my multiplier. Okay, so now I am going to apply these algorithm, that is bit pair recoding algorithm, on what multiplier or multiplicand. Okay, can anyone type it in chat box where I am going to, for which number I am going to perform bit pair recoding, multiplicand or multiplier? Yes, type it in your chat box. Yes, multiplicand or multiplier? I am going to perform bit pair recoding on multiplier or multiplicand. Can you follow the class? Yes, multiplier or multiplicand? You simply type multiplier or multiplicand.
Multiplier.
Yes, Adil has given multiplier. Yes, what about others? You can type in your chat box. What, all the 60 members are in online but not listening? Yes. I'm asking a question whether it is multiplier or multiplicand. Yes, Anupam has given the second answer. Yes, Adil, Ahmad, Anupam, Maurya. Yes, Gudubli Maurya is very active. Yes, Adit Krishna, Shravesh. Yes, you're going to perform it on the multiplier. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So please try to follow the class. Okay. Since even though this is going to be involving a lot of operations that has to be solved in chalkboard, we are trying to figure it out using this PowerPoint presentation. So try to follow it. If you have any doubts at any point, please unmute yourself and you can ask the doubt also. Okay, whenever you're having doubts. Okay. So this is going to be the multiplier. 8 into 20, you will get, what is the answer? 160, right? Okay. So I am going to bit pair recoding for this multiplier. What is the multiplier? 20. Am I right? So you have to pair the LSB with 1 bit. So I am going to make sure whether this entire is going to be 8-bit operation. It's going to be involving 8-bit operation. Okay, 8-bit representation. So how I will represent 20 over here? 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. That is going to be the binary equivalent of 20. Am I right? What is the first step? I have to pad one LSB with 1, 0. I have done that. Next thing is, I have to check whether n is even or odd. What is the n value? 8-bit. So since it is even, I am going to pad two zeros on its MSB. So these two are being added. Okay. And then what is the third step? I have to form 3-bit overlapping groups for n is equal to 8. For n is equal to 8, we have 5 groups. So how I will form this 3-bit overlapping groups? I will overlap here. This is going to be one group. I think they have given here. This is going to be one group. Again, this is going to be the same number I will take. This is going to be another group. Okay, again this is going to be 1, 2, 3. This is going to be another group. This is going to be another group, and this is going to be another group. Like this, I am going to make How many groups are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups I have obtained. Okay. So for this 5 group, what I have to perform? I have to perform the bit pair recoding. Am I right? So for my actual multiplier 20, I am forming this 3 bits of overlapping groups. Okay. Now what are the groups that I have identified? 0, this is going to be the first group, this is going to be the second group, this is third, this is fourth, and this is fifth. Am I right? Okay. So for this 5 group, what is the first group? 0, 0, 0. What is the second group? 0, 1, 0. What is the third group? 0, 1, 0. What is the fourth group? 0, 0, 0. What is the fifth group? 0, 0, 0. So this is what I have obtained for what? For 20. Okay. I have got the bit pair recoding table groups as here. Okay. So now what I have to do? I have to recode it. Am I right? 0, 0, 0. What is its action I have to take? If I'm going to have as 0, 0, 0, I'm going to simply substitute this 0, 0, 0 for one single 0. That is 0. Okay. Into y is going to be the other multiplier that I'm going to, the multiplicand that I'm going to multiply. So you don't want to bother about this y and all. You just forget this y. Okay. Now 0, 1, 0. What is the recording value? 0. You have to obtain this from here only. 0, 1, 0. So it is going to be plus 1. So you write it here as plus 1. What is the value for 0, 1, 0? Again, it is going to be plus 1. What is the encoding value for 0, 0, 0? It is going to be 0 as it is. For 0, 0, 0, it is going to be 0, 0, 0. So like this, you are going to substitute, or for this groups, you are going to encode it like this. Okay, so these 3 bits are going to be represented hereafter as 0 only, not 0, 0, 0. 0, 1, 0 is going to represent it as plus 1 here. 0, 1, 0 is going to represent as 1 here. 0, 0, 0 is going to be as 0 like this. Okay, what is the first step? You have to compute the multiplicand multiplies. Okay. So what I am going to do is 8 is going to be there. What is the equivalent value for 8? 1, 0, 0, 0. Am I right? Okay. For 20, what was the value actually I got? 1, 0. In 1, 0, 0, 0. I got 1, 0. Okay. This is what actually I am going to multiply. 8 into 20. Am I right? But for this 20, I am not going to make use of this multiplier 20's equivalent binary number. Instead, what I am going to make use of? I am going to make use of this particular coding that I got in the previous step. What is the encoding value I got? 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay, so you just simply write it as 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. That means what? Okay, so that means for this 20, I got this encoding value, right? So you have to write the value for this. Okay, so what is this? 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. Like this I got. You added another 1, 0. You added 2 zeros in the MSB. So this is going to be what? This is going to be the values you have padded. For this, what is the value you got? 0. Again, for this value you got 1. For this value you got again 1. Okay. And then you got the value as 0. Okay, I think 0 I have missed. Okay, for this 0. Okay, so this value, you just write it over here. Instead of 20, you are going to write down the bit pair encoded value of 20 over here. Now you do the multiplication as usual way. 0 into 0, all the values will become 0. Okay, and then you have to leave 2 spaces here. You have to move 2 digits over here, and you have to write 1 into all the 8th binary equivalent. So you will get the value. Okay, as it is. Again, you are going to multiply by 1. 1 into 0, 0. So 1 into 0, 0, 1 into 1, 1. So the value will come over here. Okay. So you're going to have again 0 into all the values will become 0 over here, and 0 into this values will become 0 over here. Okay. See how many bits are there. Okay. 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, so totally 8 into 2, that is totally 16 bits are required when you are going to do the multiplication of two 8-digit number. Okay, so how many steps are being actually involved here? Only 5 partial outputs are being here. If it is involving 8 bits, how many bits it actually has to take? It has to take 8 partial outputs. You have reduced it as 5 steps. Okay, so now if you are adding all the values, you will be getting the actual result in this form. So you just consider the 8 bits, you will get 180, which is the actual result that you in need of. Okay, so instead of multiplying with the actual multiplier, you are performing an encoding using the 3-bit grouping operation, and you are multiplying with it. And you are summing all the partial products in order to get this value. So 8 into 20, but this 20 is being encoded and the values are being obtained here as 160. Now we'll see another example that involves negative multiplicand or negative multiplier. Okay, so see here, it is going to get involved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bits are going to be available. Okay, so the multiplicand is actually multiplying minus 11 and plus 27 using modified Booth algorithm. Okay, so first step what I will do, I have to find out minus 11. Minus 11 means 2's complement of my positive 11, that is plus 11. I will find out the binary equivalent, and for plus 27 I am finding its binary equivalent. Okay, I am trying to get a 2's complement of my actual A also. Okay, for further use. Okay, so first step you have to find out the 2's complement of your multiplicand, that is going to be minus A. Okay, A is going to be some value, you have to find out minus A as well. Okay, now as usual what you are going to do is you are going to find the bit pair recoded multiplier. What is the multiplier? Plus 27. You write down the binary equivalent of it. Okay, now you add this 0 in the least significant bit and you start recoding. Since it is going to be in even numbers, you can simply add it as well. Okay, so you take this 3-bit. For this, the value, the equivalent is going to be minus 1. You just look upon this particular table. It is going to be minus 1. Okay, so again, it is going to be 101. The value is going to be for 101. What is the value? For 101 also it is going to be minus 1. Okay, for 110 it is going to be plus 2. Okay, so now what you are going to do? You are going to write down the multiplicand as it is. Instead of this multiplier, you are going to write down this recoded multiplier. Okay, this is bit pair recoded multiplier you are going to write. You write it as minus 1, minus 1 and plus 2. Okay, so now if you are going to multiply with plus 1 or 0, what will happen? If you are multiplying by 1, the value will be coming as it is as the multiplier, and you can write it over here. If it is going to be 0, you have to make it all the bits as 0. But if it is minus 1, what you have to do is you have to take the 2's complement of the multiplicand. What is the 2's complement of the multiplicand? It is 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. So that you have to write down if you are multiplying with minus 1. And then the remaining set of bits are going to be the sign bit of the multiplicand. Here 0, 0, 0, 0 it will come. Okay, and then I am going to do another minus 1 into the multiplicand. Am I right? So now what you have to do, you have to leave 2 spaces here. You have to leave 2 spaces. Okay, and then you have to write 1. Why you are leaving these 2 spaces? Because you have reduced the operation by doing this 3-bit recoded multiplier. So this, in between this, one step has been neglected. Okay, so for that reason you are leaving this two spaces, again -1, so you write down the 2's complement of the multiplicand and then you write down the other bits as a sign bit. Okay, whatever is available here, you just simply extend this sign bit. Okay, now if you are going to perform multiplication with +2, what you have to do is you just again leave this 2 value, 2 places, okay, from here, and then you put a 0 over here, okay, and then simply write the multiplicand. What is the multiplicand here? Is going to be 110101. Okay, this you have to write down as it is, and then you extend the bit of this, which is 1. Okay, so and then you just add all these values, you will get this particular output over here. Okay, so in order to verify this output, you take the 2's complement of this and you will find out the value as -297. Okay, so this is how you have to perform the multiplication using modified Booth algorithm. Okay, so let me give you another example so that you will get more clarity. Okay, so I'm going to multiply -107 and 105. Okay, so first step is going to be 107. It is of base, it is a decimal number, so it is going to be of base 10. Okay, so I am writing its binary equivalent. I'm going to make use of 8-bit representation. Okay, so -107 means what? I have to take the 2's complement of +107. So I'm going to get -107 is going to be this binary value. Okay, this is first step is over. In second step, what I am going to do? I am going to find the bit pair recoded multiplier. So what is my multiplier is going to be? My multiplier is 105. Am I right? For that, you write down its equivalent binary number. You add a 0 in the least significant bit. You check for the number of bits. If it is 0, you can add 0 as well. Okay, you can add zeros as well. Okay, and then you just recode the value here. Okay, for 0, 1, 0, it is +1. 0, 1, 1, it is going to be -2. Again, 1, 0, 1, it is going to be -1. 1, 1, 0, you can have it as +1. You can have this also 0, 0 here also, and you can make it as 0. Since it is not going to make any effect on my multiplication, I simply ignore that. Okay, if it is 0 also, it is if I am going to add my all partial result, again I am adding by 0, it doesn't make any effect. So I am simply ignoring here. The 0, 0, I am just simply ignoring. Okay, so I am going to consider this particular part as a bit pair recoded multiplier. What is the step 3? I am finding the 2's complement of the multiplicand, because during the multiplication with -2 and +2, I need this 2's complement of the multiplicand. So I am just taking over here for the multiplicand. Okay, now this is the last step. What I have to do? The multiplicand is there, multiplier is there. I am not going to simply multiply with the binary equivalent of this multiplier. Instead, I am going to multiply with bit pair recoded multiplier of what value? 105. Okay, the multiplier is nothing but 105. So this is going to be 107 is coming here. This bit coded multiplier is going to be coming here. Okay, I am simply going to write it. Okay, so +1, what will happen? 1 into 1, 1, 1 into 0, 0, 1 into 1, 1. So it is coming as it is. Okay, the last bit is going to be 1. I am simply extending the sign bit of it throughout here. Okay, and then you just leave 2 spaces. Again, it is going to be -2. I have told you, if you are going to deal with -2, you have to write down this explicitly, and then you have to write down the 2's complement of the multiplicand. Okay, what is the 2's complement of the multiplicand we have obtained here? This is the 2's complement of the multiplicand we have obtained in the previous step. Okay, so you have to write it over here and you extend this sign bit. Okay, and then this is going to up to how many bits? 8 into 2. So 16 bits it actually required. Okay, so and then you again leave two bit spaces and you write down for -1. So for -1, what you have to write down? You have to write down the 2's complement of the multiplicand. Okay, that is also the rule that I have told in the previous problem. Okay, again extend the sign bit. Okay, and then what you are going to do is you are going to multiply with +2. If it is +2, you don't want to take the 2's complement of the multiplicand. You simply write the 2's multiplicand itself. Okay, so since it is going to be +2, you extend this bit sign as 0. Okay, so and then you're going to add all the values. Okay, so this is going to be the sign bit. So again takes the 2's complement of this, you will get the 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. That is multiplication of 107 and 105. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Can hear me. So here actually while multiplying with +1, we have actually filled all other gaps with 1 here. While
Yes.
multiplying,
Yes.
while like the same way when we were multiplying with +2, that time we didn't fill the gaps with 1.
Because
Instead
we are considering, see, we are considering this particular bit as the sign bit for the number. So for that reason, we are just simply extending the sign bit. Okay, we are simply extending the sign bit over here. See, for here, when I'm doing with -2, okay, what I have to write down over here is 2's complement of 107. For example, if I'm having 1 here, I have to extend here entire with 1 only. Okay, so in this case, the situation is like that.
I'm down like for +2, we have written 0 there. Okay. So only for negative numbers also.
For negative numbers alone, you have to follow this rule. Okay. Okay.
Here, one more thing. Here actually for the +2, when we're multiplying with +2, we got a 1 only, no, like at last. The
The
last
same
digit.
here.
Yes. Then you have to write even 1 even to the left side. Right?
Okay, so I will just check it over here and I will tell you. Okay, I think you have to write 1 only. I think they given it as 1. So what will happen is it will become 0 and it will become 1. Again, if you are taking the 2's complement, you just consider 1, it is 8. Okay, so for example, if it is coming it as 0, it is 1. The 1 you have to add it along with this and you will again get the minus value only. You just check it or check. I take the 2's complement of this and you check whether the value is coming correctly and we can verify that. Okay. Okay. So with this modified Booth's algorithm, again we have seen about this. Okay, so let me summarize this modified Booth's algorithm. Okay, so it is going to involve with multiplication over bits into pairs using bit pair encoding. Okay, so this Booth recoding algorithm is usually not used, but this modified Booth algorithm is going to be used most frequently because it is going to reduce it by n by 2 plus 1, even the over here. Okay, and then you can apply this grouping of this idea with this Booth algorithm to find out the sequence of operations over any pairs, whether even it is assigned or unsigned. You can apply this modified Booth algorithm. Okay, so with this, the summary of the classes that we have seen for today is we have seen about the sequential multiplier, how you can do the unsigned and signed multiplication. Okay, and then normal Booth algorithm for unsigned multiplication, and then Booth algorithm for signed multiplication, and then modified Booth algorithm. Okay, so this is what with this the multiplication is over. So in the next class you can see about the integer division. Okay, so we'll do one thing tomorrow. I will send you a link, okay, of a small tutorial of integer division. Okay, two types of methods are there. restoring method and non-restoring method. For tomorrow's tutorial, what you have to do is you have to complete the homework that I have uploaded, and then you just look into the division operation for restoring multiplication, restoring division. Just a 10 minutes of video that I will send you the link. Okay, you have to go through that and you have to come for the next class. Okay, so Monday most probably I will be taking the class. Okay, Monday evening we have a tutorial hour, right? Most probably I will take a class. Okay, it is not just for 10 to 15 minutes we can discuss about this, and we can complete the division operation. Okay, and then we have third unit also, so we need to rush up slightly. Okay, so I will assign the okay, type your register number in the chat box. I will open a quiz for today. You can complete that. Tomorrow is Saturday, right? So your task is you try to complete the homework. And another thing is I will send you a video link. In that video link, how to perform integer division. Okay, for that I will be giving you a tutorial. Okay, you try to understand how integer division is going to happen. Okay, one method I will teach in the tutorial, however, that is flipped class. I won't come online. Instead, I will send you a recorded video. It is as a flipped class, so we can see it in the next class. Most probably Monday we can have one class which is in the tutorial hour. Okay, just for not fully for 15 minutes, I will take less than 20 minutes. Okay, is it okay for everyone? Okay, type your numbers and you can go. Those who are having any doubts, tomorrow I will be fully available in the tutorial hour. You can come and ask, get clarified with your doubts. Okay.
Today's quiz.
Yes, I will assign now.
When is the tutorial? Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes, tomorrow we have a tutorial hour.
Okay.
Actually, we have this tutorial hour by 6 o'clock, 6 to 6:50. Sorry, it's not 6 to 6:50. Sorry, now tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Tomorrow is Saturday.
Okay. Yes, Saturday we had a tutorial by 5 to 5:50. We had a tutorial hour. Okay. See, in timetable they have reduced to that tutorial hour. Am I right? But the tutorial hour is actually available. I will be available online to clarify your doubts. But no classes will be taken in that hour. That's what I am trying to say. No attendance for that hour. But instead,